Side effects, well, the most common side effect is nausea, really. Around about 30% of people will complain about really feeling crook in the guts. And that can vary just from mild, I feel a bit of an upset stomach, right through to vomiting. So I have been told that the reason for this is that nicotinic acetylcholine receptors are found everywhere throughout our body, not just in our brain, but also in our gut. And so when Champix binds these receptors in some people have quite a, maybe a larger amount of these receptors in their gut, then it's sending signals to the brain saying, well, hang on, what's this stuffing here? Let's get it out of here. This is not right. So that might explain that. But in terms of the other symptoms, the common symptoms, headache, insomnia, some people will complain of dreams. These are pretty common in a control group anyway. I mean, even if you're trying to stop smoking without using any medications at all, you're likely to experience at least one of these symptoms, at some point. So for example, even though 14% of people who take Champix will complain of headache, 11% of the control group will experience the same symptoms. So it's very hard to know whether it's part of the withdrawal syndrome or part of Champix. The good news is that for most of these symptoms and for most people, they're fairly mild. The thing probably that has been in the media over, particularly the last few years, is the risk of cardiovascular serious adverse events. So in terms of that, there had been some reports of a doubling of the odds of serious adverse events. And I think, it was something like 0.5% or 1%, 1% to 2%, depending on the study. The most recent systematic review found that there was no increased risk of serious adverse events, cardiovascular adverse events. But I think it's a case of watch this space. But of course, we're talking still very, very low numbers, very low numbers. And of course, the risk of dying from smoking is at least 1 in 2 of continued smoking. So some people have reported sleepwalking and being really tired. So there are warnings on the product information about operating machinery and driving, for example. That's quite important to take note of.